Beautiful.
You said that we're wearing black today, Kilo Day.
We're both wearing black. See, we're tweening. The most beautiful is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay. Good
Hey, Rose, how are
morning.
you this morning? How are
I'm
you this
okay,
morning?
I'm good. It's a good Wednesday morning and super excited. For those that will observe the public holiday, I'm giving
Hey,
you side
don't
eye.
remind me.
I'm giving you
Don't
side
remind me.
eye, but we're going to be here to keep you
We
company
are
all through.
the things we do for you people. The things we do for you.
Honestly.
Interestingly, I said it this morning on my show. I said it to since this whole whether it's Friday and Monday or Wednesday, Thursday and Friday shenanigans started, right? I was like, because Inokoko concerned us, but I don't know how I got into the whole spirit of, oh, when is the holiday going to be? As if it concerned me, right? So I started messaging Miriam since maybe 2 days ago to be like, when exactly is the moon going to be seen? And she's like, oh, and she was just like, Miss Fumi, what's going on with you? I said, just answer me first. She goes, oh, that 29 days, which is today, or 30 tomorrow. And I said, so if they don't see it today, that means it will now be on Thursday. Right. And that will now be, if they see it today, that means it will be Thursday, and then the extra holiday will be Friday. But if they see it tomorrow, it will now be Friday and Monday. See me, I went on Google to go, because I've never really understood. I'm telling you, I've never really understood, the sighting of the moon. I just thought Miriam has mentioned it before, but it didn't stick. So I was like, oh, I get it now, because they have to sight the moon as well for the fasting to even start. And I
Yeah.
found that some countries like Turkey actually follow a format, like they don't wait for the moon. They do a calendar sort of, I think that theirs is either, I'm not sure if it's 29 or 30 days, but they don't wait for the setting of the moon. They just say, oh, this is when our fasting is going to end, without waiting. Because there's also the argument of what happens if you're in Australia, for instance, whose timeline are we looking at as to when the fasting starts or as to when the fasting ends? But I think, as a rule of thumb, generally they just wait for Saudi to determine whether they've seen the moon or not. I thought the moon was maybe something you see, but I didn't know that it was something that everybody could even see at the same time. See,
Yeah.
like, unless you even see, yesterday I was researching, I kid you not. I went down that rabbit hole of researching, okay, what does this moon, what does it signify, and all of that and all of that. I was like, oh, I get it now. But then on Twitter yesterday, people were upset that it was Thursday and Friday, like, because people had apparently planned to do Friday
Friday
and
and
Monday.
Monday.
My mother's school had given them holiday for Friday and Monday,
Anyway.
because that was what it was leaning toward, Friday
Yeah.
and Monday. So I now said, so if they don't see the moon today, we're back to these 3 days holiday we're going to get. Remind somebody, the Muslims forever doing it for us, and the Christians will do it for us upper week with the Easter coming. So we're eating good at the beginning of the year. The year has been very somehow. No, it's been great for some people, has been, tough for some people. So you get a break. But remember that you'll not get another break until maybe May. Oh, that's fine now.
Mm.
So we have holiday March, April, then May, then we chill. Oh no, there's June 12th. Look at that. We're eating good. May 1st, public holiday. Okay, let's get into it. For some people who didn't understand the moon, I hope I did justice to this. So if we have our
Oh,
Muslim
wow.
audience, please send a message to be like, yeah, for me, you did justice to it. Don't give me a Muslim name, shall.
Why?
Actually,
You
Miriam
should
did
have
give me a
one.
Muslim name. She gave me Sakira. Miriam gave me, yeah.
Are you
Miriam gave,
serious?
I kid you not. She gave me a Muslim name. Anyway, that aside, okay, let's get into it. Those of us who are not happy about the holiday, Pele, like for instance, now tomorrow, my daughter is supposed to have an exam tomorrow. They said the exams on Monday because they wanted to quickly do it before the holidays. And then
Mm.
now they're going to have to move it till next week. So
Let's see.
it's disrupting a lot of people's timetable, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay in the end. Anyway, starting off with the Punch newspaper, hardship. Labour pushes 154,000 naira minimum wage. We are going to get into that with our analyst this morning. What does this mean, for every single one of us workers? Shabi, they moved it to 77K last year. Was it last year? It was, or 2
Yeah.
years ago. But some people still, it hasn't reflected in some people's salaries
Mm-mm.
up until now. That's number one. Some states, I think Imo and Anambra, I stand to be corrected, I think, had moved theirs to 100,000 naira. that was just those states because they're like, what does 77,000 want to do? So we'll get into it this morning. Next up in the Punch newspaper, we have 3 jailed fined for Facebook TikTok fraud in Kaduna. Or Kaduna, like Rose was saying.
When they start clamping down on all of these people, maybe, people will start doing social media responsibly to a very large extent. All right, on The Guardian this morning, police dismiss extortion claims against Lagos task force. Another one says power installation vandal electrocuted in Enugu. Yeah. Sorry.
Unfortunately, like you want to steal something and then it not electrocutes you. Like, that's double tragedy.
Did you see the video of the guy that the police made to sing?
No.
Who is trying to? Please go
they made who to sing what?
They caught him, they were like a group of people that, were caught. And the police were now asking him that, wait, do you know how to sing draw or something else? And he said he can sing. So yeah, take mic and sing. And the guy, the song is sung. I don't know that it's the song. I mean, it's the voice. He used to sing the song. I don't know what, something was not working at all. Like, so just a funny insight. I'm like, even like now, waiting they go start to do now. And then there was another video I saw 2 days or 3 days ago, I think on Sunday, where they went to steal and they were caught. And in the midst of beating them and all of that, they made them to dance. Like, if you don't dance very well, you'll receive flogging. So they were dancing. And if you slow down by any means, as I see, you don't go thief now. Dance when you know Sabi, you can't dance. At the end of the day, now police station you go end up.
Ouch.
I don't know what comes up with this kind of ideas though, but it's better than jungle justice. Yeah,
I'll take that one. Yeah, because many people have lost their lives who were innocent, right,
yeah,
from jungle justice. So yeah, and even if the person is guilty, I don't think that anybody should take justice into their own hands against a fellow human being. You get if no, there's no point. Anyway, moving on to this day newspaper, we have 15 killed as vigilantes, repentant bandits clash in Katsina communities.
That's sad. That's really sad.
Next up, we have Eid al-Fitr. Federal government declares Thursday, Friday public holiday. So if you did not know before, I've said it now. It's official.
Yeah. It's going to be a long weekend.
It's going to be a long weekend for you that are enjoying it. Rose, let me just tell you now, after my shift tomorrow, nobody should call me. I will be observing the holiday afterward. And on Friday, I have her business tomorrow. Rose, are you sure you don't want to do her business tomorrow?
For me, let's go on. Daily trusts. If you joke with me now, all through the weekend, self, you will walk. All through the weekend. Daily trust. You see that 40th thing you want to do is from the office, you will do it. Maybe we'll just do virtual.
Separate justice with mercy.
You will do virtual 40th.
Good out there.
All right, so the Daily Trust, residents seek solution as water crisis lingers in FCT communities. The whole FCT is still doing water crisis.
No, but you know that this has been going on even, like that was one of the things that people mentioned when Wiki was going about doing Thanksgiving tour, that you're not minding the business that they are paying you for, you're going about looking for trouble. So there's still issues going on in the FCT.
FCT.
Yeah.
All right, NDLEA destroyed 3 cannabis farms in Edo. Edo people, Alpha. Anyway, let's head on to the Vanguard. Let me not find trouble.
Not find trouble. Vanguard, this is where we have UK, Nigeria seal major investment deals ahead of Tinubu's state visit. Next up, we have Lassa fever. Benue records 383 suspected, 47 confirmed cases.
I hope they're able to do something fast about this. Yeah. Premium Times, EFCC returns 387 million naira recovered loot to Jigawa government. Court permits Nigerians to record police on duty, award damages for rights violation.
Next up, we have is the premium. No. The Nation newspaper, I beg your pardon. It L for tree. NSCDC deploys 8,000 residents for environment. Pardon me.
Nope.
Sorry. NSCDC deploys 4,000 personnel to secure FCT. Why? Okay, because of the celebration. Okay. Tinubu orders political appointees eyeing 2027 offices to resign by March 31. All the best, everybody involved.
All the best. On the cable, this government is killing Nigerians. Amechi criticizes Tinubu over Maiduguri bombings. And then, the bombings in Maiduguri, it just brought back a lot of memories. During Good Luck Jonathan time, when any small thing, you don't hear say bomb, don't be here, don't be here, don't be there. Especially around Maiduguri. I just hope that we're not going back. No, we can't go back to those times because so far it's been quiet, aside from the insecurity that's going on in different parts of the country. But the issue of bombings, big. All right, let's head on to Daily Trust.
In the Daily Trust, we have. Did you see, even before we go there, I was reading the papers about, people who have been talking about survivors, some of the survivors, and as at yesterday, I think they said 23 deaths, but they said no, it's more than that. Some people said it was maybe 40, but we have more casualties, more injured people than even that has been counted so far, because you will not even find some of the people who have passed on, who have died, be that because maybe their bodies have scattered. The people that are even looking for some of their family members because they cannot find them, because when the bomb went off, apparently people were scrambling, trying to figure out for escape. So it's just so sad, but that's what is going on currently in Maiduguri. Okay, to the Daily Post, we have Lagos prosecutes over 8,000 residents for environmental offenses. The same way I was joyful 2 days ago. I think for what state was that? One of the eastern states. I'm also happy that this is happening because it's about time. Like, I'm tired of walking in Lagos and just seeing men just be, and then you're urinating everywhere, or people throwing things out of their vehicles, or walking on the road and you're eating a biscuit, or you're having a drink and then you just throw it. What is going on? But on the other hand, the government has to also now start putting what they call it, waste disposal containers everywhere, so people know that it's like saying, why do you throw it on the floor? But there's, if I move from point A to point B, there's nothing I can throw. There's no container to throw my trash in. So on that side, let them to be doing that one. It's just that the problem will not be that they say, they should come and do it. They say it's 5 billion naira, they used to do it. Anyway, it's early. I'm not looking for anybody's trouble. Next up on the Daily Post, we have Onyeli Ikpe Dabiri Erewa Rewani advocates increased diaspora participation in Nigeria's economy.
All right. On the Tribune, Delta makes progress as government sensitizes youth on military recruitment. Edo Monarch blames imposters for EFCC petition against him.
And finally, today in the dailies, we have pen-pushing newspaper, Nigeria Customs recover 19th century artifacts. Where wants that from like this? Man caught on video trying to lure child hawker with 1,000 naira for sex. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, those are the headlines this morning. I think that at this point, it's important that we start looking inward. The men around you, your friends, your male friends, your brothers, your fathers, your uncles, like, they need to start getting educated. And look, I was reading something over the course of the week. Somebody was sharing what happened on the bus and said there was a man disturbing a girl on the bus, asking for her number, and she kept on saying no. She kept on saying no. So I think an older man intervened, and I think, I can't remember what happened, but the lady got off the bus. Now the older man says to the guy, can I slap you? And the man says, no, he says, do you know the difference between no and yes? Asks him. He says there's no difference between no and yes. He said, eh. He then said, can I slap you? The guy says, no. So the older man slapped him and said, and the guy was like, bye-bye, Shemak formulity. And he says, but you just said now that there's no difference between
yes and no.
And yeah. And I think I was so happy because it means that this thing like is slow, but eventually, like we need to be able to start. I know that they say, oh, educate the girl child, let her not wear this thing, let her not wear that, and she be careful where she goes. But the real perpetrators are the ones that we should be talking to them. Men calling men out of, how do I say it? Men calling men out on their bad behavior. No, if a girl says no, her no means no. You understand? Those kind of things, like don't approach a woman. Because these days, you cannot even say if a man approaches your sister, will you like it? Because men, some people are just really, really deranged, right? And they'll just say, she can touch now, whatever, because of what is in their heart. But it is educating each other, men calling men out, telling them, no, you don't do that. Not joking when if a girl is passing and they're trying to toast the girl, their dog whistling at her, and she's saying no. We're not laughing that the girl said no. You say, no, guy, you know they do that kind of thing. That's what we should do. So, because over 1,000 naira. Okay.
Did you see the video yourself?
No.
If you had seen the video, I think maybe we'll talk about this on her list tomorrow. If you had seen the video, if you look at the man, say, like, have you even fed yourself enough? You don't even chop belly full. If you see this little girl that was doing the hawking.
Like very, very shameless. I don't even understand it. So, yeah.
You see, he now stood as if he was toasting one grown-up girl. Well, you now check the little girl that he was talking to.
Anyway. Is what we did together. Hey, it is well. Let's welcome our analyst this morning. Good morning, Buki Femi Ajala. How are you?
Yeah, how are you?
It is breaking, or is it me? Can you hear her?
I can hear her.
Hi, Buki. Oh, I think the network is bad.
I think it's
just gonna, we'll wait on our analyst to maybe sort out the technical issues. But before we go ahead, remember that we're live on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go via our website www.wfm917. This is Daily News Review program on Women Radio 91.7 FM. We just finished running through the headlines this morning, and we're just waiting for analysts to, join us in a short while. Rose is here. My name is Fumi. Me too, I'm here. And you can send in your messages 0703 1756537 or 08155 917 917. Hi, Buki. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So this is just technology working. Yes. I'm talking with one device and I'm looking at you with another device.
That's it. I love it. You see, I said that Buki is first of all, Buki she comes early, she comes punctual, punctuality queen. That's my queen over there. And then she's women in tech. She's a tech sis, women in engineering. This is
that's how I saw a video of a lady, loading up her dishwasher. And she said something just came out of the dishwasher, so she was able to fix it back. And she was saying, yeah, women in tech. I'm like, but one small pin that came out from the dishwasher.
Yes, women in STEM, yes. Science, technology, engineering. I think M is math, yes.
She has to celebrate.
What did you say? Yes. We love it. We love to see it. Absolutely. Okay, our first headline. Oh, happy Mother's Day to you, Buki. Mother's Day was on Sunday. We wish you a very big happy Mother's Day. I hope you had a great Mother's Day celebration on Sunday.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, let's get into it. This first headline. Labour demands 154,000 naira as minimum wage. And at the beginning of the show, I was saying to Rose that the 77K concept, not everybody has gotten it. How much more this 154,000 minimum wage, which is a 120% increase, you know, when it comes to salaries in Nigeria. This letter was signed by the national chairman, you know, and I think before I even get into the letter, I want to ask, but do you think that this is feasible? And the reason for this is because they said public service workers continue to face severe hardship. You know, there's increased fuel price, there's high inflation, there's rising transportation costs, there's increase in food items, in housing. I know we've done a housing conversation at some point, but I feel like we need a whole day and a half to talk about housing really in Nigeria and how much rent is rising astronomically. I think really for me, if there's going to be increment, it has to be in housing because like getting a house is expensive, right? Healthcare, education for your children, maybe for yourself as well, it just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. So one can say that this is a step in the right direction, but how feasible is this for us in Nigeria? Buki, over to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Buki, sorry, before you go ahead, I think you should mute the one that you have your video on and leave the one that you're using to speak through.
Okay, I can actually even get out that so that there will not be. I'd actually muted, so at times these things do not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's better now.
It is.
Yeah. So you just have to bear with me with my. Okay, yeah, I can actually put it on. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'd like to start by saying that it's really not about the wage increase. We should look at it from the fact that where is the inflation and where are the salaries? You know, it's like inflation is high. We are trying to run after it, you know, to meet it up. So it's more of a cost of living issue. You know, yeah, it's a factor too. How much you earn is a factor too. So even when these things are increased, right, we'll still get to a point where we'll still say that amount is not enough.
True.
So it's an issue of how will the policy handlers, you know, look at ways on ensuring our cost of living is just okay, at least for an average person. If you look at all the times they have increased the wages, right from Shehu Shagari, Sojo, you know, and all that, even to late Buhari, you know, and then of course 2024, where there was a whole lot. But at the end of the day, you know, they came with that. Yes, I know some states, I think you also mentioned it, you know, when you were starting, and some actually started paying 105. I think Lagos is in that league. Rivers is still paying 85. A whole lot of them are paying 80. You know, but we still have some of them like Ogun, Kebbi, Kanos, they're still paying around 17, you know, but if you really find out from them, most of them too are struggling to pay, you know, really, really struggling to pay that. And now that they have put forth, you know, their thoughts, they put up their thoughts that I think you need to begin to look at this 154. It doesn't sound off. It does not sound off because if you really look at it, how much is a crate of eggs?
6,000, 6,500, depending on where you buy from. 7,000, some people.
And how much is fish? How much is beans? You talked about housing. How much is a one bedroom? No, one room. Don't let us even say one bedroom, one room apartment. Because we're looking at the average, you know, person, right? Just today, somebody was telling me that a 2-bedroom was going for about $1 million, right?
$1 million. Please, Buki, where? No, where? 1 million. That's even cheaper. I've seen like 2.3 million for 2-bedroom.
What you allow, it be coming down. Be coming down.
Boy, I can get 3 bed in that
in
region.
in one remote place. I'm not even talking about,
Oh,
you understand? And I was saying, excuse me. So when you begin to talk of, like, I mean, you can't even talk of Ilupeju now. Even in Arepo, I mean, 2 bedroom it was close to about 1.5 or 1.6 that somebody was telling me.
hmm.
And depending on the state, of the house, in terms of decor and interior decorations and fittings and things like that.
Yeah.
So my own is somebody who just started work that is earning 200K. How will he survive? And then
Hmm.
we're not talking about somebody who is earning 70 or 80. Let us
Mhm.
even say maybe the wife. Let's look at the worst case scenario. The wife is okay, somebody who also earns that 70. So we are talking about 150 in the household.
Yeah.
How will they survive? How will they survive? I'm not talking about the people that are earning 400, 500, 600. They also are screaming, oh, they are also screaming. So
Everybody is, yes.
it's not off for them to begin to make demands. What they have just done is they have just written that, okay, start looking at these things. There is a process because they have to look at it. Their committee has to be set up, and reviews of salaries, it's always 5 years,
Yep.
right? So maybe they are prepping them up. You understand that this thing will work. You understand? Let's start looking at these things so that by the time you want to go through one committee to another committee to another committee, and they still have to budget for it. The president has to agree, and then they don't have to put it into the budget. You understand? So they are already prepping, maybe towards 2027 or maybe 2028. We do not know, but it's a process that they have commenced. Like I said, is it off? I don't think it's off. I think they're just telling us that cost of living is high, and if you look at it, we have inflation. Thankfully, they said at least as at this week, they said it came down, but even it's still high.
Yeah.
And then fuel subsidy is off. I mean, since Tinubu said subsidy gone, you understand? And we
Yeah.
can see even with the prices now, at times it goes up, it goes down. Not even with the crisis that
It's
that we are having.
happening.
You understand that? I mean, global prices have gone up, and of course, everybody that is buying, you understand, they're buying at the global rate, and
Yeah.
that's why that today Dangote will say 100 up, 100 down. You understand? So,
Yeah.
but that is what we find today. And look at the prices of food. Immediately, there is an increase in transport costs.
It's all over.
It will because everybody surrounds it somehow.
Yeah.
Farmer is going to move goods from his farm to. He's not going to fly the thing with technology now. He's going to use
Yeah.
rail
Yeah.
or the road, or I mean, I know we don't do that yet for all goods, but I know there are some very perishable that they still use, that. But of course, those ones are prime food. So don't let me even go there. Let's just stick to bus and train. If I'm more often than not, the lorries, and of course they run on diesel, which is a whole lot of money, that it gobs, right? And then of course these people also, right, they spend like every other person. So where they have been making a profit of 5 naira, and they find out that this 5 naira is not sustaining, they can't pay rent, they cannot send their children, in terms of what do you call it, bus fare to school. They cannot even buy them, normal clothes. I'm not talking of Ashwebi. You understand that they just
Yeah.
want to keep their clothes and things like that. Water, there's no water. They have to pump water. They have to do these things. And then, of course, even data. You understand? It's becoming part of us right now. So when they look at this thing, they say that this 5 naira profit for this thing is not. So what do? They increase it probably to 10 naira profit. And who is going to pay for that? Is the consumer. Meanwhile, the consumer is already complaining, that the amount paid is not enough to go around the wife and the children. The children need some things, right? Today is socks, tomorrow is bag, tomorrow is water bottle. And then, of course, the schools also are there because they're also running on gen, or they are running on, except those that are very rich that can actually put in the solar light. So, of course, cost of going to school also is high. So before you know what is happening, everybody is cringing. So for me, they really need to look at that what can they do? And this is where I think we need to begin to talk on solutions, that what can they do? There are countries that, yes, we know that they have been able to stabilize, but then those governments, they have strong institutions where when they talk about subsidy, that the subsidy is going to the real places, not our own kind of subsidy that it was just a few cabals, that was enjoying it. So one, they really need to look at how can they, reduce prices of food.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That is one, because when you look at your budget, what food consumes is a lot. So how can they reduce that? Right. Then I also believe that they can actually subsidize, but this time around is targeted. I'm happy that President Tinubu had released, I think it was Monday, was it Monday or maybe Friday? I can't remember. The CNG buses. I think they said they should.
Yes.
I think maybe 100 or 1,000. I can't remember what it is. But we need more of that.
Hmm.
Public public buses, such that it will be attractable for every person, except those that say they are very, very rich. There's no middle, whatever, but truly, truly, there is still middle. It's just that the thing they shake like this. That even the middle people will say, you know what, I don't want to take my car. Let me go with the public bus. So that can reduce, your spending, and then you have more money in the income. And then so that's what I mean by they can actually target some places, maybe public buses too that are still using fuel or something, or diesel, like that. And then they can actually, somebody had actually proposed, can we have subsidy tickets and things like that? But that is when the person who is handling it is full of integrity,
Hmm.
But I think the one that is very clear should be, let's reduce food. You understand? Let's make it cheap. Yes, you have to subsidize it. I mean, US does that. At least I know about that. They subsidize heavily, and that's
Mhm.
and
They even have those
that's
coupons as well, at least to help
Mm.
and
people.
that's why food is cheap. It's heavily subsidized, but
Yeah.
they have strong institutions. They have a system that it's not it's tight. You know where the foods are coming. You know what to do through cooperatives and things like that. Though in Nigeria, everybody is just on his own. A farmer leaves his farm and he just brings the thing to K2 market. How do you want to subsidize that? What kind?
Mhm.
Except you now begin to look at markets that have systems, right? That when you go there, I think there was one in Ijoru that Lagos State, from formal markets that you are registered, you already know what you are bringing in, and then they are telling you that this is what you can sell. And then, of course, at the back end, they have a way of calculating and all that, so that farmers go with their money, right?
Mhm.
Farmers also have made a whole lot of costs. They've spent a whole lot of costs, fertilizer, labor. You need to sit with a farmer to know, they are trying, you understand? So they also want to recoup. They don't want to lose, right? And at the
Yeah.
same time, they also want to let the people buy food at a very good rate. So that one. And then I also talked about targeted social protection. You talked about housing. What are they doing for the masses? These are areas where they can actually ameliorate the suffering. Nothing stops you from building houses, building houses that are very affordable, to the average Nigerian. So they now need to now profile who is an average Nigerian. Let's look at somebody who is earning 70 minimum wage, what kind of house would that person want to stay? Let's look at it. Somebody who is earning 70, someone would always get married and they will have children. But do you
Mm-hmm.
know that these people cannot afford a 2-bedroom apartment? It
Yeah.
is a one room apartment. That one room, they will now share it. Is that the
Yep.
kind of living our Nigerians do
Yep.
want your Nigerians to live? They share, they partition it. And of course, it's not comfortable in all ramification. That is the best. And for those, maybe their wives or their spouses, let me use their spouses, have little income, and then some of them are doing side hustles. You are a worker, but you're still selling land, you're still sewing clothes, you're still selling all kinds of things. That is why you find out that when you go into a normal public setting, somebody that's doing something extra. Either they are selling clothes, they are selling shoes, they are selling eggs. Some of them have gone into poultry. Why? Because they have to make up. And at the end of the day, some of the things that they're supposed to do, they're not doing. So it's a 360-degree
Yeah.
holistic thing that
Absolutely.
the government will have to look at.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said it's more of a cost of living issue, right? But in terms of what they have done, I don't see it's off. They're only telling them that this is it. But I will have to balance it. Even when they get the 154 and inflation goes up, cost of living goes up. We'll still come back to this. So as we are tackling it in the short run, can we begin to also look at the long run? Some of
Mm-hmm.
this that we can do. Can we begin to organize the way food comes in such that it can be heavily subsidized? The fertilizers, they're doing that. They're doing that, but we need more of that in an organized way. And then, of course, the angle of transportation, public transportation, can they deploy massive numbers, so that even me myself, I say I don't want. Let me go and enter that, because one, it's comfortable and it's cheap. It's comfortable and it's cheap. And then, of course, we also now need to begin to embrace technology.
Yeah.
You know, I happened to enter into an office, a public office, and I saw the number of people in there. And I was talking to somebody. I said, "Do you know that in this office with technology, you only need 2 people?" And the people I counted there were about 8. What are they doing? Carrying files up and down the whole place. I said, "With technology, you only need 2 people." He said, that will not go happen. I said, it can happen. It's a mindset thing. So embracing technology, in all these areas can actually help, to reduce the number of people and pay them well. So what the question would be that, where would you now send these other people to? But I believe that when they look at it holistically, this will get there. I know government also is doing tax relief, for organizations. Thank God for the
Yeah.
tax reforms, because the SMEs were actually screaming. But yes, with the tax
Yeah,
reform
but
that we have,
Nigerians are also, I think the issue is, because I read about that as well, but the issue is SMEs are screaming, but what about Nigerians? I know that was it last year, in the thick of the inflation we had, there was ONJ code, there were things that the governor did. I think even in other states. But right now, are we being impatient in saying, oh, they haven't done anything yet, or should we wait it out? But then unfortunately, you can't ask somebody who cannot eat 3 square meals to wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot ask someone who needs to pay school fees to wait it out. You cannot ask someone who has to send their kid to school with lunch to wait it out. What's the child going to eat in school? Those kind of things. And that's what we're talking about. I don't know if it was with Buki we talked about it, or with Sumbo. We said, unfortunately, or just me and Rose, what our government sometimes lacks is foresight. We don't know how to prepare, for these kinds of situations. Like, for instance, as a human being, may have an emergency fund. Almost everybody has emergency fund. Even if it's like 30K that you have, you should know that you have more money somewhere. Say, bad as it bad, if anything happens to me. But we don't have that as a country? How do we get to that point? Because I don't think waiting till inflation occurs, that's not when we should wait. One of the headlines, I don't think we even get there, was I had seen African countries and how the cheapest fuel price. And when I was reading one of them, the reason why their fuel is that price is because the government has been able to mitigate against this before. So even if it's going to rise, is that they're able to say, oh, you will feel a little bit of discomfort, as opposed to is when the fuel is increasing, of which them even claiming that Iran is what is causing the fuel price. They started claiming this thing as a last week, but we know that that's not what the truth was. If it's this week now, we cannot be like, but it's like we push the buck to somebody else as opposed to dealing with the. If something happens in my home, I'm not going to go and call Rose now to say, oh, Rose, my children my children need to go to school. Can you come and pick them for me? Do you understand? Like how, from where to where? But it doesn't, I don't know. If I'm going physically to the office, the day before I've already spoken to my neighbor to say, oh, my mommy D, she had me drop the kids off at school. That's mitigating against knowing that I have to go in physically to the office, but we don't have that. I know that you're a policy and something politician, something. Maybe you can help us, because
okay, I'm not 100%. I would be 100% with you on the fact that we don't plan, right? There are people meant to do that, and they are actually doing it. But the issue is, do they take what they say and implement it? They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And I think, let me speak of Nigeria. We haven't gotten to that point yet. And do you know that this thing starts from the family? Many of us, I mean, we are guilty. Your wife is pregnant for 9 months. You are not saving. It is on the day the wife wants to put to bed, you now start running up and down the whole place for this. It starts like that. It's something we are used to.
Yeah.
So these are the people that will also get to the political offices, policy offices, like that. So it runs in them. You understand? Until we have strong institutions, right? You remember there was a time when we had issues of food and things like that, that maybe about 3 or 4 years, we discussed it, then it was on our former name, when people were saying that even the grains that were released were spoiled.
Yeah.
Somebody is supposed to be in charge of that. Why would you allow the grains that you are storing for food to get spoiled? So is this how just do it anyhow mentality that is running through our system, right? Until we have people who know exactly what to do and they will get the job done, right? I totally agree with you that you need to look at, do you know our population now, 200 and something? And they're now saying that by 2030, 2050, we are going to be 300 or 400 or whatever they are calling. What are we putting in place for that? You understand? What are we putting in place for that? These people will come. They will also need fuel. They will also need food. They will also need that. What are we doing concerning farming? What are we doing concerning schools? What are we doing concerning hospitals? Are we planning ahead of that? Many a times the way we do our policies and execution and things like that is just now. Look at what is happening now. It's all politics, because politics is coming 2027. So it's something that we have to systematically change, from us, from individual, because it is the individual that will get to that place, and then with strong institutions. What brings about strong institutions is when you have disciplined people that will now say, you know what, let's bring about this discipline framework. I mean, that's good to great that he says that. Disciplined people will bring about disciplined thoughts, and then they'll bring about disciplined actions. Yes. It is because we have disciplined people. That is it. You understand? You talked about those countries that that their fuel is very low. Some of them, it's all about subsidy. They subsidized it, but it is well structured, because they know that the global price, they know that these global prices will keep going up and going up, but then they now know that our people, our lovely people, they cannot afford it. So what do? They heavily subsidize it. And some of them that have that sell crude oil, they know that those oil revenues that they get, they use it back to supplement what their citizens, are doing. So it's about ensuring that you do what is needed, at that policy level. But I totally agree with you that at times we don't think too far. We don't think too far. The people who are there, they're doing it. But hey, maybe because the issues that are there is overwhelming them, that they'll say, let me take care of now. Just like you said, let me take care of now. The future will will keep. But we can't do that. We can't do that. We need to get to that point, because these things are reality. We are giving every day. Population is increasing. They're talking about inflation is going up, and not even with our Boko Haram issues that people go to farm, it's a whole lot. That what are we doing? What are we doing to ensure that these things, will not slap us? Like somebody made an alarming statement, I think it was 2 days ago. I mean, it caught my attention. He said, God forbid Nigeria should not face war, that we don't have what it takes to survive. I think that's it. That we don't have what it takes to survive a war. I mean, it
very,
just,
very true.
it was electricity sent to me that I had to say, God, please, because I had to look at it that if something happens now, what happens? Even the food that you have stored, for how many days? Is the government ready to support, to give? I mean, we know what happens in IDP camps, and you're now talking about a whole nation. You understand? But then we also know that some countries, it's difficult. Because we see all these pictures and we see all these video clips, but then we don't pray for war. But even now, what is Nigeria doing, concerning that? We need to do more. I'm not saying we're not doing it, but we really need to do more. Particularly now that everybody's looking at politics. The next thing now is nobody is talking about governance.
Nobody's
talking about governance. They probably have left it to the permanent secretary, and they are doing their own stuff. But to what limit can that? Except if they have been able to do their statecraft and all things on autopilot, which I doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Buki, for, anytime Buki comes, just know that she's going to take you back to school. Always when she comes. Let's take this message before we go ahead. And I mean, everything she said, most supports everything. Okay, we have this one from Olushika Ajayi. He says, CAF has lost every shred of integrity. This AFCON 2025 decision proves what many of us have said. They were desperate for a Morocco win. Nothing about this decision makes sense. Instead of solving problems, they've created even bigger ones. An absolute embarrassment. Let me give you context. 2025 AFCON happened in December. We woke up this morning to seeing that CAF has collected the championship from Senegal and giving it to Morocco. And me, I was like, because remember that when the AFCON was happening, a lot of foreigners, let me put it that way, people who went to Morocco, they said they were experiencing heavy racism from Morocco, because Moroccans believe that they are not Africans, because it just been said, because your color and my color is not the same, which is really, but we are in this country, we're in this continent together, so they have that air of superiority to other, let's say, Black Africans. At this point, we have Oyinbo African, we have Black Africans, and they've now collected. So what happened here? They said the time that Senegal walked off stage, because there was one funny looking hanky panky, they walked off and then they came back. Apparently they infringed on section of the CAF bylaws that says that when they walked off, they had already they had forfeited the game.
Mm.
You people did not mention it then. You're not mentioning it because Morocco, we knew that Morocco wanted to win by hook or by hook, however way. So that's what is happening. Unfortunately, when I said, I was like, this can't be right. Like that's what I kept on saying. This cannot be right because what you're doing is you're setting a precedent, so everybody can now come and say something went wrong. But the rules are the rules. Is unfair, yes, but it has been. It's like somebody being instated as president. They now say, "Sorry, you are not the president." Is Rose that is not the president? You know, that kind of thing. So that's the only message we have so far this morning. That's it. Rose, you want anything from your end?
I just wanted to add that, if we had things going on well, within the country, if we had maybe food prices down, fuel prices down, we had electricity, we had things going as it should, good roads, cost of transportation is down, schools is affordable, housing is affordable. I mean, there will be no need to come and start crying over 77K or 150 something, thousand right here. But a lot of things are not just it at all, So as it is, that 107, that 154 said that they're talking about, before they will get to talk about it, before they will get to assent to it, before they will get to do all of the politics around that figure, and even get to say, okay, we agree on paper, before they'll start even implementing it, you will see that by then the 150 something thousand they're talking about will just be as good as the 30,000 naira or 40,000 naira at that time. So at the end of the day, how realistic is this in the first place? Okay, because even the 77 now, we should be a booking here. Don't tell us how many states even they pay them, first of all. And how many, it's not just of recent in Kaduna that their own teachers are now receiving up to that amount. Just of recent, I think just before the end of last year.
Yeah.
So if only things were working, and that's why sometimes it's not even about your buying power. It's not even about, how much you can spend or how much you can get. First of all, it's how the economy is.
We have a
How
call. Sorry, dying minutes. Hello, good morning.
Hello, I spent time to listen to Madam Buti and she spoke my mind. I believe what she said. Quite all right. Good morning, Madam Buti. Thank you. Yeah, they do with almost everything. All we need to say is we should learn to do the right. That good man, the better Nigeria we're living. Let's start from each and every thing we are. We do the right and the fair. When Nigeria will change for better. We are not like this before. Nigeria was better than this. We told the point of you and I. We should learn to do the right. Nigeria will be great again. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon. With that being said, we are literally on the, what's the English of it? Well, at the precipice of it, but I'm going to. I'm sure Buki is so tired of me at this point. She's tired of me.
No. I'm not tired of you. I'm enjoying you.
Thank you.
Let's go find out what is happening in London with our stage visit. Let's go. I'm highly interested. So let me just go and see what is happening.
I don't even know what to say.
No, but for me, I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one after 37 years. I think it's a good one. Yeah, and I just pray that they will. Well, depending on how you look at it, these were our colonial masters and things like that. But I think with the mindset that we are now our own Oga, and this is what we want. You understand? So it's not an issue of we are cringing and we're saying no. We should go with the mindset that this is what we want. We call the shots. All the shots. Yeah. But it's a good one. All right then.
All right. Thank you so much, Buki, for coming on the program this morning. As always, like I said, what you will get from Buki's education should take you back to school and give you all the facts and figures. I'm not saying that our other analysts don't do that, but every single one of them have their own strengths. And like Evangelist Dickinson said, that's one thing I particularly look forward to on Wednesdays, because Bookie will take us back to what happened in 1948 that you do not know, and then she will juxtapose it with how it is happening in 2026. It's not a bad thing. Bookie is a really, really good. Not everybody has that strength, so we really, really appreciate it. See you at 9:05 with Rose on her lens. 9:05 is the news. Without me saying, we've come to the end of the daily news program this morning. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, thank you.
You never sounded so cool.